Welcome in, everybody. How are you? Hold on. I got to get my mic fixed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is kind of how I speak. Hey, folks, welcome in. It is the High Noon Rant. I am Pugs Moran. We do this every Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time-ish. It's 12:10 today. But Mondays are always a little bit of a slow start. Let's see here. Hold on. Still getting myself together here. How was your weekend? Was your weekend good? I had a crazy weekend. No, I don't want to restore my pages. I just want to start fresh. Hold on, guys. Give me a second here. We'll get started. Who do we got in the chat room? Let's see. Let's say hi to our first people in the chat room of the day. We got Gary. Who was first in? Gary's first in. Taronda, Jeff, Leslie, Byron. Oh, come on, everybody. 1-1. April's there. Cam's here. Everybody. As we like to say around here, grab your yoga mats, beanbag chairs, futons, those foldy chairs that people take to kids' games that have the back support, whatever it is. Form your soul circle of life, join hands, and let's move forward as we learn all about this day. That's what this show's about, the High Noon Show. It's about this day. We go through, I would call it today, but that name's already taken for a show. And then I'd be too tempted to play the Smashing Pumpkins song as my theme, and I don't have the rights to it. So, and nobody wants to hear me sing that, even though I do sing Billy Corgan pretty well, because I do have that kind of scratchy voice. All right, guys, hold on. Just give me another second here. It's coming together. Who else we got? Whitney's here. All right. Hiya, Whitney. Let's see. Let's get all this out of the way. Okay, so this week, it's Thanksgiving week. Hope you're all excited. It's going to be a fun Thanksgiving. I don't know. I don't really do anything. I haven't really. I was going to these people's Thanksgiving for a while, and I don't do that anymore. Just they're wonderful people. Here's what I am. Here's what I have been. And I embrace the role. Don't get me wrong. I enjoy it. But I do know that it's a very specific role. I am the guy, if you're a kid, like if you're 8, 9, 10 years old, I am the guy that will show up to a couple of your family holidays for like 3 years in a row, and then you'll never see me again. And you'll always have this memory of, oh, yeah, that dude who used to come to Thanksgiving. But you don't know who I am. You don't know what my connection to your family is. You just know that I'm there for a couple of years, so I must be okay. That's who I am. It's called the Strays. I don't know if I'm doing a stray this year. You know what? Honestly, you know what I want to do on Thanksgiving? I want to do a whole lot of laundry. I want to do a whole lot. I got a day planned, and it concerns laundry. We'll see. We'll see how it shakes out. I don't know. I don't do holidays. I mean, I do hanging out and having nice experiences with people, but I don't know. Holidays, there's too much pressure on holidays. Yeah. Oh, and get this. So I did my shopping over the weekend. I went shopping on Saturday because I have a schedule and I keep to my schedule and I don't think much about outside factors that might make me want to reconsider my schedule. Anyway, I'm going to the store. I went shopping on Saturday and I couldn't believe it. I'm like, why is this place so crowded? And nowhere to park. I had to park on a street. Not even the parking lot. The parking lot was packed. I had to park on a street. So I park on a street, I walk in, I do my shopping. I don't know if this influenced it, but on Friday night, I started binge watching episodes of Curb Your Enthusiasm. So when I went to the store, I guess I was maybe in a very Larry David mindset, but I had a couple of incidents at the store. And I want to talk about them here at the outset. One, I was looking for tortillas and I'm like, what? I was at a different store. I was at the Tom Thumb on University. I typically don't go to that store. I usually go to the Kroger, but I was at the Tom Thumb on University. And I was looking for tortillas. I didn't know where they were. And I'm like, where the hell are they? And it's a smaller grocery store. They still try to have everything, but they don't have everything. You know what I mean? It's like, ugh. So I'm like, where are the tortillas? They could be anywhere. They could be stacked in a corner. So I saw somebody, a fellow shopper. He was looking for something. We had made eye contact earlier, so it wasn't like we were complete strangers. We were dudes in the same aisle. If a war broke out in that moment, he and I would be on the same team. So, I felt comfortable. And I went to say to him, I was going to guy, hey, you know where the tortillas are? And then I realized he was Mexican. and I didn't ask him because I didn't want to be racist. And then I thought, well, isn't that more racist? Isn't the fact that I considered his ethnicity at all more racist? And it reminded me of the time that Kelly had a very real incident. She was in an office and she was in a meeting in an office somewhere up in North Dallas, and she needed to pick up chicken for her kids. She was bringing chicken home. They wanted chicken. So she didn't know where she was. She was like in a different part of Plano. She was like, eh. And so she wanted to ask somebody, ooh, I wonder if there's any like good chicken restaurants around here where I can get some chicken, because she had known of like that. She'd heard of that. I guess it was that Babe's place, right? But she didn't know where it was. So she's like, there's this chicken place around here. And she was walking through the lobby of the place, and she wanted to ask the security guard where a good chicken place was, but he was black. So she didn't ask him because she's like, I didn't want to feel racist. And I had the exact same thing with a tortilla guy. So I don't know, man. I think you just got to ask. You just don't even think about it. See, it's the attempt to like not come off as racist that actually makes you racist, because in that moment you are actually making a decision based on ethnicity, culture. I don't know. Oh, and then I had this situation happen to me at the Tom Thumb, and I'm going to do this now. I think I'm going to do this now. I'd love to have somebody film it. Like, this could be a good viral thing. Any of you kids out there more motivated than me, you want to go viral, try this. So when you go to these stores now, especially at the holidays, they're just pushing liquor on you. Hey, would you like to try this great table wine for Thanksgiving? You know, there was like 4 of these people set up. So I walk in and this guy goes, hey, I got a great new wine for Thanksgiving. How'd you like to try a sample? And I go, I don't drink. I've been sober 10 years. And he goes, okay, I understand. I go, but it's been a hell of a week. Tell me about it. And the dude started pitching me on wine. I just told the guy that I had been sober for 10 years, but it's been a hell of a week. So go ahead and pitch me. And this monster of a human being started pitching me on wine. What do you need to be sober for? World's going to hell. Here, try this new wine. I just thought that would be funny. That'd be something some kids get out there, start recording that stuff. All right, what is the schedule for this week? You're probably wondering, because it is a holiday week. I have no plans to do a show on Thursday because honestly, I can't imagine you people, be around for Thursday. Oh, is the chat not up? All right, Byron, thank you. Sorry about that. Boom. There we go. All right, now we're merging the chat. Byron says, I think if you don't ask the black guy where the best chicken is, you are an idiot. All right, now you're being racist, because here's what I want to say about that. I never understood like how like some foods become pejoratives when you use them in association with a race or an ethnicity. Like, hey, taco guy, or the Italians were always like Frank Furillo on Hill Street Blues. They were always like, get a hell, spaghetti bender, right? It's all like that. Black people, they say it's about chicken. Oh, fried chicken. You know them black people, they like that fried chicken and watermelon. Who doesn't? I mean, seriously, how is that a thing? How did it become a thing? They're like, black people and that fried chicken. Colonel Sanders is a white guy. I go, everybody likes fried chicken. How did that become a bad thing? And watermelon? Well, I guess with people in watermelon, it's take it or leave it. But watermelon isn't like it's only black people eat that watermelon. What? That's not true. None of these things are true. Although, at least not. I mean, look, there is no, like, how do you make black people have been in America, right? That I understand, like, Mexican people, because that's a new culture, that's different food, and that might be strange to this culture. And as the diaspora of Mexico spreads across the land, we suddenly embrace tacos. I don't think tacos were a thing until the 70s, as far as I'm concerned. I didn't know about them until the 70s. So that's different. But black people have been here. We've been all eating the same food. How is it that black people are like, that's watermelon? I'm like, oh, because white people don't eat watermelon. Is that it? Anyway, that was my trip to the store. All right, so I don't know if I'm doing a show on Thursday because it's Thanksgiving. I might surprise you. I might just be, bored guy on a holiday and be like, let's do something. But probably not. I do expect to do a show on Friday. I do plan on doing a Black Friday show because that'll be a fun show. I like that. Frank says, I would ask Pugs where to get a hood sandwich at a deli in North Texas. Well, you shouldn't. I don't know what a hood sandwich is. What is a hood sandwich? Where is the best Irish bar in North Texas, Pugs? Geez, man, I would direct you to my boys, the Harders. I don't know. I don't know. There's a place in downtown that I like that I go to with my son, but I can't remember the name of it offhand. But there's a place in downtown that's really cool, really authentic, but they're trying too hard. Like it's like, we're trying so hard to be authentic. We're inauthentic. It's like that. Like, you can't have, here's a rule with an Irish bar that people don't understand. You cannot have a wall of big screen TVs. Okay. Irish bars do not have TVs. Irish bars have a dude in the corner with a guitar, and maybe another dude shows up with a bongo. Okay. They got books. People read books. You go to a real Irish bar, there ain't TVs. Like I'm talking about in Ireland. They don't have TV. It's a place to go to talk. You don't sit and watch TV. It's so American. I don't know, Frank, but I appreciate you having faith in me. I do appreciate that. Byron says all black food is awesome. I see. I don't wait. What now? Okay, all right. I see what you're like. Southern. There is Southern food like collard greens and stuff. Is that what we're saying? Or Byron? Is that what Byron is saying is black food? Because I don't know how Southern white dudes who eat that stuff. I don't like it. Not like mustard greens. Ugh, that's gross. Ugh. I don't know. Anyway, so probably a show on Friday. And then probably not a show on Thursday, unless I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how things go. Now is the time in the show where I'd like to announce who is today's executive producer. How do you get to be executive producer? Well, you tip the show. That's right. Tip the show. At some point during the show, you become executive producer for the next day's show. This show runs completely on your gratuities. It's talk radio, as I say, the way it should be done. No politics, no divisiveness, none of that stuff. We do not have an executive producer for today's show, so I'm just going to do whatever. The man ain't watching me today, but if you want to be tomorrow's executive producer, drop a little something in the tip jar and help this show continue on for another month. Okay. So I'm going to do on that. I'm going to leave that up, though, for a while, just in case you're inspired. What do we do on the show? Well, I bring you everything about this day. We do it in 4 quarters. The Rant is an uninterrupted stream of consciousness with me. No breaks, no commercials, no music, no nothing, no weather, no traffic, just blah, blah, blah from me for about 2 hours on all the things that have to do with this day. We do it in 4 quarters. First quarter, we go back, we do a thing called Erstwhile on this day. It's all the events that have occurred on this day. I list them. Then we do birthdays. That's second quarter. People born on this day. A lot of birthdays today. Birthday segment's going to be fun today. Got a lot of hot takes on a lot of these people. Then there's the deads. We take a look at people who died on this day, and we decide based on their life's resume whether or not we think they're in heaven or hell. That's the first 3 quarters. The fourth quarter is, of course, all the headlines, hot topics, current events, and trends, things people are buzzing about. Whatever it is that is shaping this day is what we do in the fourth quarter. Okay, so if you are ready, let me take a sip of coffee. My voice just cracked. You hear that? Jeff says, I'm only cooking an 11-pound bird, Whitney. Won't be enough food. 11 pounds of turkey. I heard an interesting debate last night. And it was a serious debate among sports guys. I was listening to some Chicago Bear post-game show. My Chicago Bears historic collapse, historic loss. Quarterback looked great. Coaches need to be fired today. Unbelievable. Anyway, defense collapsed. Anyway, the post-game show for Bears fans like myself was difficult. So they started talking about other things. They got into a really interesting debate about Thanksgiving food, whether it's good or not. That was the question. Is Thanksgiving food good? And one of the arguments was, if Thanksgiving food was good, there'd be fast food restaurants since the 1970s cranking out turkey out of drive-thrus. And he's right. There's no great demand for Thanksgiving food. We eat this thing because the construct that we've signed up for tells us that on this day we eat turkey and we all act like it's a great feast. Maybe back in 1712 or whenever, I don't know, Pilgrims. I don't know. Look, I know 1776. Before that, Pilgrims at some point. I don't know. Indians before that. I don't know. Like the first Thanksgiving, yeah. because those people, they were eating dirt and grubs and like, that's like their normal meal. Hey, have some more grubs on a Wednesday night for dinner in June, right? I mean, they didn't have access to the kind of food that we have now. So the Thanksgiving turkey bird was a big deal. They couldn't just go to Subway and get a turkey sandwich any minute of any day of the year that they wanted. So it was a big deal. And we still eat this stuff. Turkey's good. It's fine once a year, or a turkey sandwich every day of the year, because we eat a lot of turkey sandwiches in this country. Stuffing is good, but it's just wet bread with gravy. It's the gravy that makes it good. We can do that anytime. I don't know. Cranberries, why do we only roll them out this time of year? Are they too tart for July? Why don't we roll out I don't know. Sides are good. Sides are good. I like the sides. I like all kinds of I don't know. It was an interesting debate because when you really think about it, how come you don't go out to restaurants when you celebrate and order turkey and stuffing? No, you don't, because it's a construct meal. It's a meal that we just been programmed to think is really good, and this is what we eat on this one day. I don't know. It was an interesting debate. All right, let's get started. It is the High Noon Rant. I am Pugs Moran. What day? Well, I'll tell you. It's the 20th day of the month of November, year of our Lord, 2023. November the 20th is the 324th day of the year. There's 41 more of these remaining until the end of the year. So get them New Year's Eve plans started. All right, let's get started here. This is the first segment. We call this Erstwhile on this day. What we do is we take a look back at all the events that have helped shape this day throughout history, our understanding of this day. Why? Looking for an edge in predicting what the coming hours might have for us. So let's cherry pick the history of this day. On this day in 1910, Mexican Revolution, Francisco Madero issues the Plan de San Luis Potosi, denouncing Mexican President Porfirio Diaz, calling for a revolution to overthrow the government of Mexico, effectively starting Mexican Revolution. All right, this day, 1910. Don't know much about the Mexican Revolution. Learned nothing about it in public school. Probably don't need to. Sounds like a college level thing, really. On this day in 1945, the Nuremberg trials begin. Trials against 24 Nazi war criminals start at the Palace Justice at Nuremberg. Palace of Justice. Trials at Nuremberg. Spencer Tracy, good movie. Long movie. That movie's like 4 hours. Well, the trials were long, like 4 hours long, but really good. The Nuremberg trials is where they, after the war, all the Nazis that got arrested got put on trial. On this day in 1947, Princess Elizabeth marries Lieutenant Philip Mountbatten, who becomes the Duke of Edinburgh at Westminster Abbey in London. Prince Philip. So I ripped through the first 4 of The Crown. The Crown is back. I'm very familiar with the wedding of Elizabeth and Prince Philip Mountbatten. That was in like season 1. I think we saw that in season 1. In young Philip, I kind of liked young Philip. Young Philip was kind of dashing. It was kind of cool. It's kind of cool. Philip turned into a real turd. The older Prince Philip got, every good, I'll put it this way, every good sort of idea or decent or kindness that the Queen ever wanted to show towards the British people was immediately batted down by Prince Philip. Prince Philip was like, you can't do that. You're the Queen. They'll think you're human. And she, but I am human. Like that whole thing. They had those kind of debates. Prince Philip was a D-bag. I don't like that guy. On this day in 1974, the United States Department of Justice files its final antitrust suit against AT&T Corporation. It's the breakup of Ma Bell. It was crazy. When you look at the history of it, how this was allowed. I understand how it was allowed to happen for the first 30 years because that dude invented the technology and it was his thing, Alexander Graham Bell. But 100 years later, other people were like, we can do telephone stuff too. And the government's like, nope, just Bell. And then they broke it up. Bell Company, Bell Telephone, which changed its name previous to the breakup to AT&T, American Telephone and Telegraph. They used to, every phone in America was a Bell phone. I remember in Illinois when I was little, it was Illinois Bell. And then after the breakup, they were forced to turn into 7 separate companies. Instead of one giant monolith of Bell companies, there were all these 7 different companies. In the Midwest, we had Ameritech. Illinois Bell became Ameritech. And then here in Texas, it was Southwestern Bell, I think, for a while. I don't know. Did you guys have Texas Bell at some point? It seems like maybe. But Southwestern Bell. Anyway, it was on this day. They broke it up. They went, you guys are nuts. AT&T is still massive. But anyway, based here, right? Isn't AT&T based here? Yes, of course it is. I don't know why I even asked that like it was a question. Yes, of course it is. Based here in Dallas, Texas. Born on this day just said it wrong. On this day in 1990, Andrei Chikatilo, he's that mass murderer from the Soviet Union who killed 56 people. Citizen X, if you've ever seen the movie Citizen X, it's good. It's about him. He's creepy. That was on this day he was born unto this world and would go on to kill 56 people, at least. On this day in 1992 in England, a fire breaks out at Windsor Castle, badly damaging the castle and causing over $50 million worth of damages. Season 4? Is this season 4 of The Crown? When the Windsor Castle fire happened? A lamp, right? Wasn't it a lamp and drapes? Something about faulty wiring? Here's the thing, man. This is what I love about The Crown, that they show you that nobody expects. Let me tell you something. You're the queen. She lives in Buckingham Palace, right? There's a house across the street, okay, that the inside is nicer than Buckingham Palace. Buckingham Palace is a dump. They don't keep it up. The electricity is fritzy. Now, this was Windsor. The fire broke out at Windsor, but I'm talking about Crown, like the Crown, how they depict the castles where these people live. They're awful. They're you know why the queen is surrounded by corgis? You know why she has like 50 corgis at all times? You know, she's like crazy corgi lady. She's always got the corgi on her lap. She can't sit in her sitting room as queen without being surrounded by 5 corgis. You know why? Because the palace is infested with rats. Yeah, I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. There are rats everywhere. It's like an ongoing thread in The Crown that the queen will be sitting there having this high tea with the Prime Minister of England, and then the camera will show a rat squirrel right across the floor, and the Prime Minister will be like, Jesus. So yeah, the Windsor Castle burned down on this day in 1992. They rebuilt it, but there was like all kinds. And why did it burn down? Because all the palaces are shitholes. It was like a wiring fritzing thing. You'd think they'd be on that stuff. They'd be up on it, but no, they're not. These places are all shitholes. Let's see here. On this day in We're going to go 2022. Yeah, we're going to go up to this year or last year, 1 year ago. We're going to go 1 year ago. FIFA World Cup started in Qatar. Remember that? It's like, it's going to be, I don't know what happened. Do we even remember it? I don't know. We all made it a big deal. And now I don't know. I don't even remember it. All right, moving on. Quarter 2. They say it's their birthday. Birthday segment. It's going to be a good one. We got a lot of these. We're going to run through some of them. Some of them, though, are big. We got some big names here. We got some really big names here. We're going to have to dive into. Although some we're not going to spend a whole lot of time on. Born on this day in 1921, Jim Back and to the left, Garrison. Yeah, the New Orleans prosecutor. Remember JFK? Kevin Costner played him. Jim Back and to the left, Jim Garrison. Born on this day in 1921. Played by Kevin Costner and JFK. Born on this day in 1925, Robert F. Kennedy. Bobby Kennedy. Born on this day in 1925. Born on this day in 1932, Richard. What am I going to say about Bobby? I don't know what. Go watch a documentary. Everybody knows about Bobby. Everybody who wants to know about Bobby Kennedy knows about him already. You don't need me sitting here going, I saw a born on this day in 1932, Richard Dawson. Remember Richard Dawson? Oh, man. See, this is how the world has changed. Richard Dawson first of all, Richard Dawson was on Hogan's Heroes. Yeah, he was on Hogan's Heroes. And he's an actor. He did a bunch of movies. He's sort of like a dashing C-list British actor, right? He came over to America, started hosting game shows, hooked up with Family Feud, became the host of Family Feud, became the best host of Family Feud. Kids Today with your Steve Harvey. You don't know Richard Dawson, but here's the thing. Richard Dawson's move was to kiss everybody. Every girl. like, and sometimes on the lips and sometimes on the cheek. And it would be like, oh, does he think she's hot? Because it's like, if he thought she was hot, you'd go like, he'd try and kiss her on the lips. Like younger, then older ladies, it was, couldn't do that today. I mean, then he did it, and not a single person in like 10,000 episodes of Family Feud went, I was assaulted. You know, nobody was traumatized by it. It was that European thing that, hello, love. You know, you'd like kiss him. And then AIDS broke out. Remember when AIDS broke out? I was like, is Richard Dawson going to keep kissing? And he stopped for a while, and people were like, why is Richard Dawson not kissing? And then he came back to kissing. He kissed everybody. That was his thing. Richard Dawson kissed people. Born on this day in 1932. Born on this day in 1939, Dick Smothers. Tom and Dick Smothers, the Smothers brothers. Dick Smothers was the straight man. Dick Smothers was the smart one. Dick Smothers was the one that was on stage and everybody was like, I like that guy. The other one's an idiot. The other one was the boss. Tommy, the fool in the Smothers Brothers act, was actually the boss, like a genius, like ran the whole act, did everything. The guy whose birthday it is today, Dick Smothers, great guy, comedian in his own right, had a nice little acting career. But no, he just kind of rode his brother's. He just did what his brother told him. And there you go. But people, if you didn't know that, if you were just watching the Smothers Brothers, you would think that Dick was the smart. Wait. Yeah, Dick was the smart one. But moving on. I don't know. I'm confused. Whatever. I know the dumb one was the guy in charge. That's what you need to know about the Smothers Brothers. Born on this day in 1941, Dr. John. Now we're gonna go on a run of rock stars, dudes, like pretty good ones too, not terrible ones. Dr. John, must have been in the right place, must have been a wrong time, must have been Dr. John. We'll move on. All right, next, happy birthday, born on this day, 1942, President of these here United States, Joe Biden. Born on this day in 1942, the greatness. He's gone. He's gone. When did we lose him? We lost him last year, didn't we? No! Holy cow, we lost him 4 years ago. Oh, my God. Bob Einstein. Bob Einstein died. Bob Einstein is, of course, Super Dave Osborne. Or if you're a fan of Curb Your Enthusiasm, as I am, Marty Funkhauser. Marty Funkhauser. Funkhauser is so funny. Oh my God, is Bob Einstein a genius? Bob Einstein is such a great comedic deadpan actor. See, I did that thing. He's not a genius. He's just fantastic at that character. The deadpan guy who's so funny, but he's not saying anything. He's just being funny with his energy. That's Bob Einstein. Bob Einstein is also Albert Brooks's brother, who we talked about the other day. Albert Brooks, focus of a new Max documentary, Defending My Life, the Albert Brooks bio. Yeah, they're brothers. A lot of people don't know that. Super Dave Osborne and Albert Brooks are brothers. Born on this day in 1942, Super Dave Osborne, Bob Einstein, died in 2019. God, Marty Funkhauser is funny on Curb Your Enthusiasm. Born on this day in 1942 as well. How about Norman Greenbaum? I don't know what this guy was, but he had that one song, Spirit in the Sky, going up to the Spirit in the Sky. That's him. That's it. One hit wonder. Norman Greenbaum, moving on. Born on this day in 1946. Here's not a one hit wonder. Here's a guy, Tragedy. 25 years old, man. This guy was a dude. This guy was real. This guy was legit. And he died in a rock star way that is not the like he died in a rock star way that you go, how'd he die? And then they tell you and you go, oh, well, that's rock star. Yeah, that's very rock star. That's not what I was thinking, rock star. Like you figure OD, drunk, whatever. No, you think that. Duane Allman is who we're talking about. Duane Allman of the Allman Brothers. Brother of Greg, guitar player, one of the most innovative guitar players of his time. A lot of people were like, holy crap, like blues with country Southern rock, like that whole Southern rock blues influenced guitar thing. That's Duane Allman. You're welcome, Night Ranger. You're welcome, 38 Special. You're welcome, Molly Hatchet. That's all. I mean, Duane Allman was great. How'd he die? He eat a peach, right? He was on his motorcycle. And he was behind a peach truck. and he crashed into the back of the Peach truck and died on his motorcycle. Rock star, driving a motorcycle recklessly, rock star. Eat a Peach, of course, the famous album. There you go. Anyway, Dwayne Allman, dead on this day in 1946. Allman Brothers would go on, but you know, they were not the Allman Brothers with Dwayne Allman. Whew. Anyway, moving on. Again, tragedy. He's 25 years old. He was like, it's like the emerging Eddie Van Halen of the mid 70s. I mean, he wasn't a technical, guy like that, but the way that he took blues, electrified blues guitar and turned it into this, I mean, whip and post. I mean, just go listen to some like classic, like really early Allman Brothers. You'll know what I mean. Born on this day in 1947. Here's another one. Here's another really influential guitar player who did not die, who survived, which is crazy because, the ones that you're like, yeah, he'll be dead by 30. Nah, he's like, what? How old? Born on this day in 1947. So like so he's not old, but he's in his mid 70s. Joe Walsh. Yeah. Life's been good, right? Life's been good. What else? Rocky Mountain Way. Theme to the Warriors. Joe Walsh, James Gang. Then, of course, the Eagles. A funny Joe Walsh story. I've told this before. Joe Walsh is also a permanent member of Ringo Starr's touring band. Whatever Ringo Starr goes out and wants to do, like, I need to make 10 million in the next 3 months. I'm gonna go play outdoor venues and sing Beatles songs. Who wants to play with me? And then, of course, because he's a Beatle, he gets like great players who just want to hang out and play with him. So it was around the formation of Ringo Starr's all-star band that Joe Walsh was over at a party at Ringo's house, and they were shooting pool in the basement. I imagine, I don't know, basements, whatever, rec room. Okay. They're shooting pool, music's playing, everybody's talking. Ringo's talking about putting a band together because he doesn't know if he wants to ask, famous friends or have it be like, unknowns. And he's talking about this and the music's playing and Ringo Starr goes, what I need a guitar sound. I'm looking for a specific guitar sound. I want this guitar sound. And music was playing at this party at Ringo Starr's house. And he's talking to Joe Walsh, and the song that was playing was Rocky Mountain Way. And Joe's like, yeah, Ringo, that's me. That's me. I'll be happy to play with you. That's okay. Happy birthday to Joe Walsh. Born on this day in 1956. Here's another big birthday girl. Oh my God. This is one of my favorites. We're gonna have to do a little thing here. We're gonna do a little. Hold on, let me pull this up because we got to look at this one. This one's going to be visual. Because I got to tell you, some people just true beauty doesn't like not age, right? True beauty kind of stays. Like, you ever seen like a really beautiful old woman and you're like, man, I bet you she was just. Well, here's an example of that. Born on this day in 1956. One of my earliest. We had Farrah, Jacqueline Smith was a big player around my place. This one was different. This one came onto the scene. I don't know if it was timing. I don't know if I was just the right age. The first time I saw her, that it was just like, okay, all right, this is an all-timer for me. Ladies and gentlemen, happy birthday to the absolutely stunning Bo Derek. Look at her. She's like 67 years old or something like that. She's like 67, something like that. Look at it. Okay, so let's scroll through some of these Bo Derek pictures. Oh my God. Tommy Boy. Remember Tommy Boy? By the way, Bo Derek and Tommy Boy, where we were all like, man, she still looks great. She was only like 38 or something, but she had been missing for like a decade, right? She was famous. Bo Derek was like super famous between like 20 and like 27, and then she went away, right? I don't know what happened, but she went away. We got tired of her, and then she reemerged in Tommy Boy as Tommy's new stepmom, and we were like, man, she's hot. It's like, no, she's. And at the time, because I was probably, 23 myself, like, man, she's still hot. Now I'm looking back at her going, she was only like 38. Look at her. She is gorgeous. I mean, here's the other thing about her. No makeup. She never wore makeup. She wore a little something. This is like that perfect California sun splashed blonde. Good Lord. And it doesn't age. It doesn't. Hold on, where's it? There's this one picture of her. Hold on. I want to find this one picture of her. It's crazy. Come on, man. All right. So this is her at 60 years old. This is her from a few years back. That's a 60-year-old woman in like 2018 or something like that. Look at that. My God. Ladies and gentlemen, happy birthday, Bo Derek. Incredible. Incredible. All right, moving on. Who else we have a birthday? Oh, here's another one. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll mention this one. Born on this day in 1959. Shut up. Shut Pugs. You're crazy about your Hollywood clone factory. No, I'm not. Because here's another example. This is another one of my prime examples of the Hollywood clone factory. Born on this day in 1959. Born on this day in 1959. Actress Sean Young. That's right, actress Sean Young. Now, let me tell you about Sean Young's process through the Hollywood clone factory. What is the Hollywood clone factory? Well, I believe that Hollywood has about 5 or 6 types of actor, and they have been just remaking them every generation. Whether it's the Jimmy Stewart into Tom Hanks or whatever, what do you want to say? I've given you examples, but they have a type and they create them in a factory and then they just pump them out. And when they get out of line, they replace them with someone very similar. That's why at any given moment, there's like 3 or 4 actors that are exactly the same dude. Look at the Chris's. Look at the Pines and the Evanses and the Hemsworths and the Pratts. There's all these Chris's, and they all play the same damn role. I do not know the difference between Chris Evans and Chris Pine. I've been trying. And then there's a whole bunch of these other ones, too. Like, you got, like, these, these like, I don't know, whatever. Moving on. Sean Young. Here's the Sean Young story. This is what my sources have been able to find out. I have sources buried deep within the Hollywood clone factory who tell me these things. I'm in a Dungeons and Dragons group and they share. Sean Young. So Hollywood had, Hollywood didn't really, the clone factory didn't really focus on women all that much. They were just hot women up until like the 1970s. But then with, equal rights and all that, they were like, all right, they made a Fonda, and like the Jane Fonda was a one-off, right? And she was really popular. Like, we could do more like that, like women with personality and opinion. So they started cranking out different models of female actresses in the 1970s that they hadn't really concentrated on. There were all different variations of male actors throughout the 1920s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. But it wasn't until the 1970s that the Hollywood clone factory really started looking at their female options and getting a little bit, creative. So one that they had very early success on was a new model called a Deborah Winger. They created this Deborah Winger, and America liked her. They were like, huh. And Hollywood was like, see, America will fall in love with girls who are Cincinnati 8s. Right. And that's what Deborah Winger was. She wasn't a Hollywood 10. She wasn't Bo Derek. This was a new sort of nuanced thing that they were going for. Oh, but Deborah Winger got too big too fast. Terms of Endearment went too big. Officer and a Gentleman went way too big. She got a little bit, and she started changing her programming. Started getting political and all that kind of stuff. So what they did was they panicked. The Hollywood clone factory totally panicked. They went, we've got a mint invested in this Deborah Winger model, and she is breaking bad on us. Quick, what do you got in the lab? And they threw together a Deborah Winger 2.0, and they called it Sean Young. Look it up. So Sean Young, she's thrown together. She was in the planning stages. They rushed her onto the market, and she is nuts. She went completely nuts, and Hollywood had to move her out right away. So Sean Young, our birthday girl, she is the second Hollywood clone version of the Deborah Winger. Now, for those of you worried about that model, they perfected it. They did. They took the Sean Young, they put her on blocks. They were like, look, let's take her back to the boys in R&D. Let's figure out what went wrong with her. And then a couple of years later, they relaunched what was the original Deborah Winger model, who took a bit of a detour with the Sean Young variants. They relaunched it, and today we have the Sandra Bullock. That's right. The Sandra Bullock was the perfected Deborah Winger that broke bad. Happy birthday to you, Sean Young. That wasn't a bad stream of consciousness story that I just made up. That's not a bad story. That might be the basis for like a movie. I don't know. All right, moving on. Born on this day in 1965, Mike D. Mike Diamond, Beastie Boy, forever in our hearts. Nah, he's not the dead one, but I'm just saying. Born on this day in 1971, another guy I really like, Joe McHale. Joe McHale. I don't understand Joe McHale. Or I should say, I don't understand Joe McHale, his grip on me. By every box, I like to do the judge a book by its cover, but then be surprised when I'm wrong about it. And Joel McHale is, by every box that I would check, I should hate Joel McHale. Joel McHale is handsome. Joel McHale comes from money. Joel McHale is funny. Joel McHale seems really cool. Everything about him I should hate, because he's also good looking. And I just don't believe that when the Hollywood Club, like, what is the Joel McHale? A less aggressive Chevy Chase model, maybe? But what was the Chevy Chase? I think they started doing crazy male comedians in the 80s that were one-offs. I think Robin Williams is proof of that. Although that's not true. I think they used the recipe that they had with Jonathan Winters for Robin Williams. Anyway, moving on. I don't know what to make of Joel McHale other than I like him. All right, there you have it, folks. That's quarter two in the books. Those are the people having birthdays today. Let's now do the deads. All right, these are the people who've died. These are the people who've died. People who've died on this day. Not many. This is not a really good one for people who died. Dead on this day in 1910, Leo Tolstoy. He's going to hell. Russian writer, playwright, crazy man, did some really messed up stuff, considered one of the greats, but he's going to hell. You want to be in hell. Trust me, you don't. Leo Tolstoy was not built for heaven. Dead on this day in 2006. Here's one. Okay, so do you know how I have this rule about actors and actresses go straight to hell? For the most part. Yeah, there will be some exceptions. We will test that rule. But just as a rule of thumb, actors and actresses are already on their way to hell. I might be able to talk myself out of them going up, but then just big football coaches always go to hell without any consideration. Football coaches across the board go to hell. Politicians go to hell. Why? Because I don't want to get into it. All politicians go to hell. Why did you put Biden in hell but Trump in heaven? Why did you put Trump in hell but Biden in... Right, I don't want to get into that. All politicians are going to hell because look at what they've done to us. Robert Altman is who we're talking about here. The great filmmaker Robert Altman died on this day in 2006. Now, he's not an actor. Actors go to hell because they're blank slates. They're not real humans. They're just white pieces of paper, and someone with talent has to write on that white piece of paper to make them have a personality. That's what they are. That's what they try to be. They try to be blank canvases. And because of that, when they're out there in line in front of you at the Starbucks, they suck. They are just like the most maladjusted. So that's why actors and actresses always go to hell. But not directors, man. Directors should go to hell because directors are crazy. But also, directors are the ones that have a vision, that create things that then get put out into the world. And then we, the great unwashed, watch these things. And we're either affected by them or we're not. Sometimes we're affected in a positive way. And Robert Altman has affected me personally in a very positive way. I love Robert Altman films. Robert Altman is one of the greats. Let's go through some of his films, okay? Let's go through his filmography, just in case you're unfamiliar. MASH, right? He did the MASH movie, which, launched 1,000 ships as far as MASH TV shows, MASH. What else did he do? He did Nashville, which was a really big 1970s film. I think it won an Oscar. I know the song. What's the song? Is everybody's talking at me? I don't know. I know the song was really big from the movie. Is that Nashville or is that Midnight Cowboy? I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, big song from Nashville. I think it was Keith Carradine who sang the song too. I don't know. Moving on. He did Nashville. Then what else did he do? Popeye. Popeye, 1980s Popeye, the one that everybody went, that movie's weird. And I was like a little kid just loving it. I was like 10 years old. Robert Altman made that movie for me, not Roger Ebert, right? That movie was made Popeye. That movie is fantastic. If you have a chance to go back and watch Robert Altman's Popeye, that's the one that stars Robin Williams and Shelley Duvall. It's fantastic. The set is amazing. It's Popeye. It's a cartoon. So don't be like, well, the drama and the storyline was a little weak. It's Popeye. Just the visuals of that movie are amazing. Anyway, I love Popeye. And I was very angry about Popeye because, critics were like, oh, I think he tried too hard. It didn't make sense. And I'm like, Popeye was awesome. He did The Player in the 90s. That was a fun movie that took on Hollywood. He did Shortcuts, another big movie, and won a whole bunch of stuff. Dr. T and the Women, that was here. That was a Dallas movie. That movie was made here in Dallas. Richard Gere played a gynecologist who was banging all his patients. He was a Highland Park gynecologist. Loved it. Gosford Park. What has he won? He's won how many nominations? He's been nominated for 21 Academy Awards. He's won 3. He's been nominated for 30. Robert Altman. I'm putting him in heaven because I just love his movies. His movies are so offbeat and weird. They're great stories, but they're also just a little. This is why I love Paul Thomas Anderson, because I love Robert Altman. And it's like Paul Thomas Anderson is obviously a Robert Altman freak. And it just shows in the way he does his thing. He does his thing his complete own way, but it's very similar. So if you're unfamiliar with Robert Altman, or maybe you're unfamiliar with Paul Thomas Anderson, they're both very similar. If you like one, you will like the other. That's my promise to you. All right, that's going to do it. Those are the Deads. We've done 3 quarters of football. Here we go. It's time for us to talk about the 4th quarter, where we get into all the things that are happening in the world. Oh, by the way, if you would like to help support the show, go ahead. Boom. The show does run on your support, your tips, your gratuities, Venmo, Cash App. That's how we plan for the future. So support for this show today. We're looking for an executive producer for tomorrow. Biggest tip of the day gets to be executive producer tomorrow. All right, let's move on. Let's go on to what is happening. Israel. We had a ceasefire over the weekend. Well, so what is the latest on this thing? Let me see. So they brokered a deal, Hamas, and you guys see Saturday Night Live this weekend? My favorite thing. I have 3 favorite things. 4. Okay, here are the 4 things that I like about Saturday Night Live. These are the 4 things that if I need to just watch. 1, the open cold open. I like the open cold open. It's it's big thing of the week. It's what we all wait for. It's the open cold open. It's typically what people talk about the next day. There's that. Then there's the news. I like the news. I'll watch the weekend update because Che and Jost are hysterical. They are the best weekend update news team ever. Yeah, I'm saying it. They've been together long enough now where I can say, yeah, they're better than Polar and Faye, who were great. Pugs thinks Polar and Faye suck because he says that Jost and Che are better. No, Polar and Faye were awesome. Polar and Fallon were awesome. Seth Meyers and Amy were awesome. Jane Curtin and Dan Aykroyd were awesome. I'm sorry. I just think the joke writing of Michael Che and Colin Jost is better. They're hysterical. So there's that. There's 2. The third thing that I look for in Saturday Night Live that I watch is the final sketch of the night. The final sketch of the night is the sketch that they were all, I don't know. And historically, it's been the one that dope Lorne Michaels has always gone, it's kind of edgy. Let's bury it deep. And it has from time to time been the worst thing where you're like, yeah, you shouldn't have gone with this. But it's also been amazing. It's also been like the start of like actual things that you start seeing earlier in the show. So I like to do that. So those are the 3. The cold open, the news, and then the final sketch before they come to the good night, everybody. What's the 4th? The 4th is this new Do Not Destroy. Do you know these guys? These are the 3 writers that do the videos. They're like the new version of Lonely Island, which was did all Natalie Portman rap videos and stuff. They were great. They were great. Who else did it? Pete Davidson did a bunch after, I think, Lonely Island. But now we've got the Must Destroy. I don't know what they're called. Do Not Destroy. You Must Destroy, something like that. They're hysterical. They do video every week. They do a different filmed video where it's just the three of them, and they're really funny. Anyway, this week they were trying to stop a guy from jumping off a ledge. They were walking down the street in New York City, and the guy was going to kill himself. And I don't know. There was a joke about the dude's band name, Hamas, and your band's name is Hamas. Yeah, Hamas. Dude, I'm not going to upload something for Hamas. Oh, yeah, that is. I know, it's funny. I don't know if you saw it. Was Saturday Night Live good this weekend? Not particularly. All right, now back to, can you see I'm trying to avoid the, okay, so hostages, they're going to get some hostages back. Israel's going to get some hostages from Hamas, and Israel's going to cease fire for what, 5 days, I think is the agreement. Israel and Hamas are close to brokering the final deal that would free dozens of women and children held hostage in Gaza in exchange for a 5-day pause in fighting. Okay, there you go. As I say with this, if you want real heavy coverage of what's happening in Israel, there are plenty of places that are going to work much harder than I am to give you what you need to know. Not me. I don't really care. I watch it, roll my eyes, and go, the world. Argentina elected a crazy guy with a weird haircut. Yep, Argentina. They elected some dude down there. What's Argentina? I mean, here's the thing about Argentina. Like, everything cool that I think about Argentina turns out to be Brazil. So, I don't know what Argentina is. Isn't Argentina at the very... I thought Brazil was the... Isn't Argentina at the... I don't know. I could do a map where I could go, oh, that looks important. I don't know. They were touting it. Argentina, has the third largest economy in South America. Third? You're in South America and you're third? It's like Mexico. That's like Mexico in a contest with the United States and Canada. That ain't anything to be proud of. What are you, third? I don't know. A dude wears leather jackets and has crazy hair. That's all I know. That's what's happening in Argentina. He's an anarcho-capitalist, which means he just wants to make money with no rules. That's basically it. That's it. What could go wrong? All right, moving on. Rosalind Carter died. Former First Lady Rosalind Carter died. She was 154. She died yesterday in hospice care. Nice old lady. Jimmy's lonely now. That's so sad. Isn't that the sad thing now? That's the sad thing. Now, start the timer. Because they do those stories, right? We always hear those stories. They were married for 70 years. And then 3 days after she died, he died, right? So now we got to be on Jimmy Carter death watch. Because, I don't know. That's too bad. It's not too bad. This is not too bad. This is why I like the Irish wake approach to mourning. This is not too bad. She was super old. Super old. She, is a woman of faith. She probably wanted to go on to the next thing. So for her, she was like, it hurts to even move now. So she's okay with it. She's okay with it. Rosalind Carter, 96 years old, full life, man. A lot of kids, a lot of grandkids. Did amazing things, okay? The Carter projects and the Carter initiatives and all of that stuff that she was a part of for the past 40 years of her life, quietly, importantly, she did good things. This is a celebration. Good for you, Rosalind Carter. Crazy old bird. Soar on to whatever's next. X. X is, we've been talking about X. X Twitter. All right, I guess, I was like, I'm never calling it X, but now I'm starting to call it X. Why? Because everybody's calling it X. Ugh. So they're getting a lot of advertising problems because of Elon's stupid move. I call it Jew hate. I don't know that it's Jew. It's stupid. It was really stupid. I don't know what he was thinking. I have no idea. He did something with some anti-Jew guy who posted something about white replacement theory and all this stuff. And Elon Musk was like, yep, which, he's from South Africa. A dude from South Africa, dude who was raised in apartheid should not, it's just not good. So anyway, over the last few days, X, Twitter, has been hemorrhaging advertising. Now, I'll tell you I'll tell you two dudes who have not been pushed out of Twitter advertising. That's Cheech and Chong. Because those guys, that's all they advertise. That's all I see on my Twitter page is Cheech and Chong ads. And some knife, some kind of like weird knife. It's like some hillbilly dude out in the woods, and he's like, "Yeah, I need to kill someone in the woods," and he's got like this crazy knife, and I'm like, I don't need that crazy knife. If I'm out in the woods, I'm out in the woods with somebody who's already got a knife, because I ain't going alone, and I ain't going in the woods. So if I'm out in the woods with a dude with a knife, I'm in the woods because he has a knife, and it's probably at my back. I don't know what's about to happen next. All right, so here, what advertisers have pulled out? Let's see. We got a list here. IBM. Nobody cares about IBM. That was the first. IBM was like, yeah, we're pulling out. Here, I'll give you a list of... Spinning. Yeah, you got to wait for the thing to download. Yeah. Give me a pop-up. There you go. Yeah, give me another pop-up. No, I'll wait. Yeah, I can see you're trying to force ads down my throat that I don't need. Okay. All right. Where are the companies? I'm trying to find the list of companies. All right. Well, here's what I need to tell you about the list of companies. It's basically all the movie companies. Apple is out. Well, it was IBM. Now it's Apple's out, Lionsgate's out, Paramount's out, Sony's out, blah, blah, blah. Universal's out, blah, blah, blah. All these people are out. So they're hemorrhaging legitimate money. They've still got like, hey man, Cheech and Chong, chewable, edible. They still got that money, but that's not like Lionsgate pushing new films that are opening type money. So, we'll see how this is. Board members are still like going, he needs to answer for this. They're trying to Kanye him. I think they're trying on the board to make it seem, because I don't want to go into this. I hate talking about that guy. He's such a weird guy. He's such a weird. I don't know. Like, is he a weird guy because he's the richest man in the world, and being the richest man in the world would make anyone weird? Or was he weird to begin with? And you have to be weird to sort of, want, like, how do you become the richest guy in the world? I mean, don't you stop? Like, I'd stop at like 100 million. Like 100 million, I'd be like, all right, I'm gonna relax now. I'm gonna stop grinding. I'm gonna just go do nothing. I'm gonna stream for 2 hours. That's what I would do. It wouldn't change anything. I don't know. Moving on. Here's another one. This is an interesting story that was trending earlier this morning. Anybody got young male children like I do? I've got a young male child. And this is a troubling story that was in the Wall Street Journal. Teen sextortion. This is a thing that's happening. So crazy, creepy pedophile dudes and scammers are going on these teen chat rooms. Look, this is nothing new. I'm sure this has been going on for a while, but this is one that's actually the federal authorities, the Justice Department is saying, wait a second, we need really to start talking about this because it's happening a lot. And I know everyone's like, sure, that happens. But no, it's really happening a lot now. So let's focus on it. Because it was always one of those things, people gonna scam, But here's what's happening. So they're targeting boys in puberty, 12 to 15 is where they're going. They're good. They're looking for boys 12 to 15 who are all hormoned up, and they're posing as like hot young girls, like older girls, like seniors in high school and stuff like that. And they've got all of these tricks. And 14-year-old boys are dumb. Not mine. Mine's actually really smart. But in other ways, he's still really dumb, like naive to the ways of the world. And that's what they're playing on. So what they do is they start flirting with the boy. They send the boy some naked pictures of this girl, this fake girl. And then the boy sends pictures back. And at that point, they reveal themselves to be, we're going to tell your mom, we're going to send these to all your classmates. And, and then the kid's got to go steal his mom's credit card or something. And this is happening. This is happening a lot. This is in the Wall Street Journal today. Teen boys are falling for a Snapchat nude photo scam. Here's how to avoid it. The solicitation of images has evolved in recent years to include monetary shakedowns. Let's see. Well, we don't need to go into it. You pretty much understand what that whole thing is all about. This article, by the way, doesn't tell you how to stop it. Just, smack your kid in the head and go, don't be stupid. That's how do you stop it? They're horny. They are like completely targeting horny boys who are going to make stupid decisions. And a 14-year-old boy is going to be like, oh, this is probably a grown man working in some troll farm in the Ukraine. It's like, that's not what a 14-year-old kid is thinking. A 14-year-old kid is thinking, yeah, this is some hot senior from the next school over. Because they want to believe that shit. So be careful. My kid's always online, man. I don't know what he's doing. The only saving grace that I have, and I know that this has been the death warble of many a parent before me, but the only saving grace I have is that I know he's a good kid. I do. I know that he's a good kid. Like, I know he's a good person. Like, I know that he likes people and he has compassion for people and he's kind and he's friendly and he's cheerful. But he's also got he'll fuck with you. Like, he's got I'll fuck with you side. Like, he's, so I don't know. Like, I can see him online being kind of like, yeah, okay. Talking to strangers just because he wants to fuck with them or something. And then he gets fucked over. I don't know. I worry. Here's somebody who also should be worrying. Ron Jeremy is in the news. Old friend Ron Jeremy. Ron Jeremy is being released from prison. Ron Jeremy's been in prison for the last 3 years or so. Looking terrible. Ron Jeremy's being accused of raping 56 girls. I've actually witnessed Ron Jeremy and how this all happens, and I'll go into that, but I'll give you the story. He's a skeeve, man. He's gross. What do you want? I mean, Ron Jeremy ain't been a secret. Ron Jeremy's been out there running around in the world for 40 years, and everybody's been like, yeah, isn't he silly? Isn't it silly? Isn't it crazy? Look at me just grab that strange girl's boob. Isn't that crazy? Hey, let's put him on a radio show and promote his events. We didn't think. We weren't really thinking. He's a predator. I have seen him, but I will also say this. I had a very close friend who was in business with Ron Jeremy. They had a mutual, my friend owned things, and one of the things that he owned had signed Ron Jeremy to be lack of a better word, brand ambassador, if you will. And my friend didn't particularly love him. My friend kind of had, he was weird. He knew that Ron was but my friend did care about him because he thought there was something wrong with him. He's like, there's something wrong with this guy. Here's the weird thing about Ron Jeremy that I learned. This guy's made millions and millions of dollars over the years, and he has not spent a dime of it. Ron Jeremy has lived in the same apartment in the Hollywood Hills for 40 years. I think he owns it. He bought it 40 years ago. You know what it's worth now? He probably bought it for $200,000 in 1972. It's probably worth $10 million now because it's in the Hollywood Hills. Anyway, he never moved. He lived in the state. He didn't as he got more famous. He didn't big house, fancy car. Didn't drive. He had a piece of crap car that he hardly ever drove. People came and got him. People drove him around. Anyway, I don't know. I have seen Ron Jeremy in public, one trip to the Grammys. Ugh, God, so weird. One trip to the Grammys, we ended up on a Friday night before the Grammys. We went to a big dinner, and Ron Jeremy came to this dinner, and he was there with our friend who was in business with him. And then Ron was like, hey, let me take you guys around. So we're like, okay, whatever. This is kind of crazy. Friday night in Hollywood. Let's follow Ron Jeremy. So we followed him around, and we went to a bunch of these places. And one of the places that he took us to is one of the places that he is accused of having raped a whole bunch of women. Now, what he's accused of doing is hanging out in this bar, this club, and then this adjoining massage parlor. It's like an Oriental massage parlor. And what he's accused of doing is, he's accused of luring young girls, into a room, into a bathroom, a side room, whatever, and then sexually assaulting them. That's what he's accused of doing 56 times. I certainly didn't witness a sexual assault, but I witnessed this mating ritual, where everyone's sitting there and then some sad 19-year-old Hollywood runaway, approaches gross 63-year-old Ron Jeremy and sits in his lap, and she starts kissing his neck. See, because here's the thing that it would probably only come out in court, but there's probably not going to be court. Here's the thing about the pornography industry: young girls who wanted to be in porno, okay, especially a character by the name of Jim South. Jim South was the big modeling guy. He discovered porn stars. If you went to LA and you're fresh off the bus from Nebraska and you want to be a porn star, you go see Jim South Modeling. He has contracts with all the agencies, and Jim South will decide if you are porn star because that's another thing. They get these girls out and they're like, wow, you're going to be great. And then they get on set and they're like, I don't want to do it. And they break down. So they go see Jim South first. And Jim South takes pictures, he interviews him, he talks to him about, you know what you're getting into here, you know what you're getting into here. And then for years, and there's a number of guys that they do this with, but Ron Jeremy is one of them. They send you to Ron Jeremy. Yeah, 19-year-old girl fresh off the bus from Nebraska wants to be in porn. She goes to see Jim South. Jim South. Okay, well, you look great, you're beautiful, and you seem like you really want to do this, but here's the thing. I'm going to need to know that you will perform no matter. So here, I'm going to send you over and you're going to spend the night with Ron Jeremy. That went on for years and years and years and years. Girls auditioning for porn, they were forced to go and have sex with Ron Jeremy to prove to the producers that they were willing to have sex with anybody and that they're not going to, on camera, in the middle of a shoot, go, I can't do this, like that, right? So, and then Ron would do whatever, and then he would report back to Jim South, yeah, she's a gamer. She's going to be great. So I saw this go down. I saw this go down on a couple of different, not the sex. Whatever, they went somewhere. But I saw this gross, weird ritual where these girls, and it was explained to me, yeah, she wants to be in porn, so they send her to Ron. Now, a lot of these girls are now the ones that are saying that he raped and abused them and all that kind of stuff. And I can't speak to these particular girls. I don't know if any of the girls that I saw were the ones that have different stories, but the ones that I saw appeared to be completely willing. Maybe, I didn't see, I never saw him, and I'm not a fan. This is not me. I'm just saying, this is what I witnessed with my own eyes. I never saw him. Well, I can't even say that. I never saw him just grab a girl's boob, but he grabbed every girl's boob, and that is assault. And I guess it has been allowed to go on with him for 40 years, and then it switched. So anyway, here's the deal. He's looking at the rest of his life in jail for being the serial rapist who's just been running unfettered throughout Hollywood and the rest of the country for 40 years. But he's lost his mind. He's completely deteriorating. And so he's not going to stand trial. All of the rape charges have been tabled, and he has been sent with an ankle monitor back to go live somewhere in a hospital. He's got to be in a hospital because apparently he's on his deathbed. Anyway, there you go. That's the Ron Jeremy update. I have to say, I always snickered at the idea of being in Ron Jeremy's orbit, even momentarily. I was like, this is kind of crazy. This guy's nuts. I'm just going to sit here and watch what happens, right? That was it. There wasn't much common ground between me and him. I didn't see us becoming friends or anything like that. Look, he'd done our show a bunch of times. I've been to dinner with him. We knew each other. We were acquaintances, but there was no real human connection between the two of us. I always thought that he was kind of skeevy, but I put up with it. And I always told my partner, come on, this is funny, right? This is funny. This guy's going to do something funny. My partner, Kelly, hated him from day one. That's crazy to me now in retrospect. From day one, the middle-aged white guy raised in the 1970s and the 80s where, come on, get over it. He pinched your butt. So what? That guy did not have a problem with Ron Jeremy. However, my female partner, also raised in the same era, but being of a different life experience, from that era, but being the one who's getting her butt pinched, she saw it right away. Right away. Always hated him. And I'm like, you're just being uptight. No, I was wrong. She was right. He was gross. And by the new rules of today, he should not have been allowed to just run around and grab girls' boobs and stuff. But it's not like you never saw a girl go, oh, ouch, oh no. They were always like, and these were girls who were pulling their boobs down anyway. I mean, I don't know. For him, it is kind of sad. I mean, he probably doesn't think he did anything wrong. He probably sincerely doesn't think he did anything wrong. And a court will never decide. Court, because he's been judged incompetent to stand trial. So there you have it. That's the latest on Ron Jeremy. How about the latest on another icon, another pop culture icon here? Let's talk about Snoop Dogg, because Snoop Dogg quit smoke, right? Remember? He did that whole thing. I'll quit smoke. You know, that whole deal. And then everybody's like, this isn't, Snoop Dogg's not off the weed. Snoop Dogg hasn't quit the pot. Snoop Dogg is this is something. We thought edibles, we thought vapes, maybe he's moving to vapes, maybe that whole thing. Smoke, because it was strange the way he said smoke. But, stupids out there all went, he's not smoking weed no more. Me and James, we talked about it on the Radio Misfits show. He didn't say he's not smoking weed anymore, you hysterical pearl clutching bitches. He said he's done with smoke. That's a very interesting choice of words. So we thought it was going to be, we thought it would be edibles. Well, guess what? Snoop Dogg tweeted this morning, and here's Snoop Dogg. He made a new video. So let's enjoy this, shall we? Here's Snoop Dogg. He is done with smoke.
I'm giving up smoke. I know what you're thinking. Snoop, smoke is kind of your whole thing. But I'm done with it. Done with the coughing and my clothes smelling all sticky icky. I'm going smokeless. Solo stove fix fire. They took out the smoke. Clever.
Oh, screw you, Snoop! You fooled us! What the heck? Yeah, there you go.
I have an announcement.
Ugh.
I'm giving up smoke.
Yeah, we don't care. All right, so we knew it was something. Hold on. Hold on. I need a napkin. Feel dumb? Feel dumb? Were you one of those people that thought that he was actually giving? Did we just lose the show? Oh, there we go. All right, there you go. So that's Snoop. Kanye's also back out. Kanye's got a new album. Whatever. We could play it, but I don't want to. Also, Travis Kelce is talking to the Wall Street Journal. He gave a big, long, in-depth interview about life as Travis Kelce these days. And he talked a little bit about Taylor Swift. And guys, here's my takeaway from it. I read the Travis Kelce profile in the Wall Street Journal today. Here's my takeaway from the Travis Kelce talk about his life. And he talked about his girlfriend. Here's my takeaway. They're a very real couple. Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift are a very real couple. They're having crazy great sex. He's not saying that, but you read the story. You read how the stuff is going on. You read how close they've become. You read the way he's talking about her. She's probably going to kill me for saying this. Oh, do you two giggle? I mean, they're real. They're a real couple. This is not this thing, because he said some things that was like, okay, yeah, if he was a guy still trying to feel out his relationship, trying to figure out where exactly they stand, he wouldn't have said that. So there you go. I don't know. Tonight, where's she at? She's on tour in Central, because he's playing on Monday Night Football tonight. Is she going to be there? I don't think so. She's probably, Travis, let's see. If I asked Google, where's Taylor Swift, do you think they'll tell me? Let me see. Where's Taylor Swift right now? He's not telling me anything. All right. All right, so I guess she's in Argentina, November 3rd. No, she was in Argentina on November 13th. Okay, she's in Rio. It looks like she was in Rio last night. Billboards. Travis Kelce reveals how he first got in touch with Taylor Swift. I had somebody playing Cupid. I don't know where she is. Maybe she'll be at the game. I don't know. She's Taylor Swift. She could probably jet around the globe and get anywhere she wants to be. Concert ends at halftime. They probably built a special Concord just for Taylor Swift. So he talked in the Wall Street Journal how they met. Oh, it's such a meet cute. Oh, it's so adorable. So he went to the parent, first of all, Travis Kelce is like a major Swiftie. Like he's a huge Taylor Swift fan. Like before, like now he's God, think about that. He's an athlete. He's talented. He's charming. He's good looking. He fell for a pop star that he saw on TV, and now he's with her. Oh, God, another one of these dudes like Joel McHale, who I should just hate and be super jealous of, but instead I'm like, I really like this guy. So here's their meet cute. So he's a big Swiftie, and he went to her Arrowhead Stadium show. Apparently she played Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, where he plays. He's a Kansas City Chief. So he went to her Arrowhead Stadium show over the summer, and he tried to get backstage to meet her. He thought, I'm Travis Kelce. We just won the Super Bowl. This is my home stadium. And that's my locker right there. Can I get to it? He figured that he might be able to, and he didn't. He got shut down. Travis Kelce or no Travis Kelce, Super Bowl, no Super Bowl. You can't get backstage to see Miss Swift. So he then tweeted about it, and then he went on his brother's, or not his brother's. They went on a podcast that he does with his brother where he talked about, yeah, she shut me down, blah, blah, blah. Well, immediately someone in Taylor Swift's camp heard about it on the podcast, and he told Taylor, and Taylor Swift texted him. Oh, Travis, I'm so sorry. How awesome. Could you imagine first of all, you're Travis Kelce. Your texts are probably pretty cool, right? It's like, oh, check it out. Patrick Mahomes just texted me, right? Your texts are already pretty cool. You're Travis Kelce. But you just get a brunk. Like sometimes I hear the brunk on my messages and I don't want to check them because it's going to be somebody asking me to do something else. So I don't check them. But imagine you check that, you check it, and it's Taylor Swift. Crazy. Anyway, I think they're a real couple. And I think that I think this could be the one. Look, you guys. Oh, September of 2024. September wedding. September of 2024 will be the Taylor Swift Travis Kelce wedding. It'll be in Arrowhead Stadium. It just seems to make sense. It'll be in Arrowhead Stadium, and they will be American royalty. It'll be our Lady Di. It'll be it's our turn, England. Sorry, we got Taylor Swift. I mean, they're not going to inherit anything, but other than top influencers, right? Oh, he also said that Taylor Swift, after her Arrowhead Stadium concert, the one that he got denied getting backstage, a bunch of her cousins, they took the Kansas City Chiefs actual locker room and made that Taylor Swift's dressing room. So she had the entire Kansas City Chiefs locker room designed to be her green room, guest room, whatever, where her what do they call that? Changing room. Why is this word? Oh my God, there's something wrong with me. That word is gone. Dressing room. Okay. Her dressing room. And after the concert, she had like the Swiftie Twitter account or whatever, tweeted out a bunch of pictures. And one of the pictures that they tweeted out were of Taylor Swift's cousins. Now remember, Travis Kelce was just trying to get backstage and he was denied. While he's trying to get backstage and being denied, Taylor Swift's cousins are taking pictures and tweeting them from the Kansas City Chiefs locker room. And her two cousins, two boys, were taking a picture in front of Travis Kelce's locker because that's his favorite. And it was supposedly those two boys who helped grease it like months later, told cousin Taylor, hey, by the way, is this real with you and Travis Kelce? Because she's really awesome. So he thanks the cousins for tweeting that picture out. All right, there you go. Kelce and Swift. I think they're a real thing. Breaking news. You got a dog? Be on the lookout. There is a dog flu that is going around. It's bad. They're saying that it's in all 50 states and veterinarians are running out of the stuff they need. It's a respiratory illness. It's not dog coronavirus. Don't worry. They're not all dying, but it is pretty serious and your dog needs to be taken care of. So you're going to have to check for certain signs, okay? Vet laboratories in all 50 states are investigating an unusual respiratory illness in dogs and encouraging people to take basic precautions to keep their pets healthy as veterinarians try to pin down what's making them sick. Oregon, Colorado, and New Hampshire are among the states that have seen cases of the illness, which have caused lasting respiratory disease and pneumonia. It does not respond to antibiotics. That's what it was. Symptoms of respiratory illness in dogs include, so here's what you're looking for in your dog: coughing, sneezing. Just if you were looking at your kid and you're like, are you sick? There's nothing dog related here that you couldn't say about a human. Coughing, sneezing, nasal or eye discharge, and lethargy, just being tired. Some cases, hold on, what's it say here? Some cases of the pneumonia progress quickly, making dogs very sick within 24 to 36 hours. The Oregon Department of Agriculture has documented more than 200 cases of the disease since mid-August. It has encouraged pet owners to contact their vet if their dog is sick and told state veterinarians to report cases as soon as possible. Oh, they're keeping a national list on this. Dogs, oh my God, holy shit. Isn't this the yeah, this is kind of the start. I talked about that movie that I like, Isle of Dogs. I don't know if you guys have ever seen Isle of Dogs. It's an animated movie. Isle, like islands in the stream, Isle of Dogs. But when you say the title really quickly, it's I Love Dogs. Ah, how cute is that? I love dogs. I love dogs. I love dogs. I love dogs. Anyway, it's pretty good. And it's the premise of it is that a flu starts within the dog community and it spreads to the humans. And in order to keep the flu away, they ban all the dogs. All the dogs have to leave the community and they have to go live on an island together. And that's Isle of Dogs. Man, they're coming for our dogs. They're going to take our dogs. They've created in a lab in Wuhan a disease that is going to take our best friends because they just need to crush our spirits just a little more. Anyway, be on the lookout. If your dog seems sick, there's a dog sick going around. I don't know. It doesn't say if it transfers to humans. Probably doesn't. Seems like they would have said that in the headline, but how about this one? Self-checkout is a thing. Self-checkouts. I was talking about going to the grocery store about how my new thing now, this holiday season. In fact, I'm going to go to the grocery store later today. I'm going to look for someone trying to sell me booze. I'm going to tell them I'm an alcoholic and see if they keep trying to sell. Because people are awful and stupid. And I don't know if the person, I went to the Tom Thumb and a dude was trying to sell me wine for Thanksgiving and he offered me some and I said, no, thank you. I've been sober for 10 years. And he goes, well, actually, okay. So here the exchange was like this. He goes, would you be, and I go, I've been sober for 10 years. And then he said, it was because he followed up after I said, I've been sober for 10 years. He said something about, do you know anything about wine? No, that's what it is. I don't know, whatever. Anyway, I let the guy think that I was an alcoholic in recovery, but had a really bad week, so I was willing to hear his pitch, and he pitched. This awful person. Now, I don't know if he was just programmed, right? Like just sell these things, just move, and wasn't thinking, because that's what programming is. You don't have to think. You don't have to really consider the changes to the environment that just happened, because you're just reading from a script. Well, sir, I can tell you that this is one of the finest table wines that you could, he went into the pitch. I'm like, oh, and I reached and I grabbed. I want to do this now. I want to look for these people. I want to see if anyone goes, hey, man, good for you. Stay strong. Like, is anybody going to say that? Is anyone going to encourage me to stay sober? Or are these guys just, whatever, man. Hey, I can't. Hey, you're a big, what are you, a pussy? Come on, be a big boy. You can't handle one shot? Like suddenly that guy's in the grocery stores. And next time I need to find tortillas, I am going to ask the person nearest me, regardless of if they're Mexican or not. I couldn't find the tortillas. And I was going to ask a dude where the tortillas were. But he was Mexican. And I immediately went, oh, that's going to seem racist. And I didn't do it. I did that thing where you pretend, you see it like, oh God, in the minute. He was bent over and I go, hey, you happen to know where and as I said that, he turned and he looked up and I went, oh, he's a Mexican dude. And I go, oh, never mind. I see what I was looking for. Like I pretended and I just grabbed a random can. I was like, yep, I needed stewed tomatoes. I didn't, but I had them. And then I just wandered around for another 10 minutes looking for tortillas, which I found, which I did. I Magellaned my way around the store and I Columbused right into some tortillas. And that's actually true because I found the tortillas while buying coffee. I was looking for the coffee and I found tortillas. Anyway, here's the story. So this is interesting, and I bet there's going to be an American supermarket chain that does this as well. So in England, they have 3 major supermarket chains for the entire country. I don't know what they're called, whatever. But it's like Kroger, Tom Thumb, Albertsons. Well, it's like that. They got 3 of them. 2 of them have plans to go 100% self-checkout. 2023, man, these stores, they don't want healthcare. You got to provide healthcare to these full-time workers who are scanning people. Let people scan their own shit and pay their own healthcare. That's kind of what's going on. So they're eliminating that job for humans globally, because they're doing it everywhere. But that's the idea. You can make more money. Your margins get better and more profitable than if you don't have to pay human beings. I who see that as despicable capitalism, still use them all the time because I prefer them. For my own personal and selfish reasons, I prefer the self-checkout. Sometimes I steal. Sometimes I see what I can get away with, on accident. I should point that out. I steal on accident. Hey, if they are trusting me to be a solid accountant of I am not that good. I am not an accountant. You should not. I will and I'll do my best. I'll scan things, put them in a bag. If I miss something, hey, that's on you. That's on you for trusting that I could do this job. You wouldn't hire me if I came in and applied for a job as a clerk. You couldn't hire me because I'd tell you I'm going to be bad at this. So here I am. You put it on me. And yeah, I accidentally didn't pay for those melatonin gummies. And luckily for me, they were like $13. So there you go. That was the last thing I stole accidentally. I once stole diapers accidentally because the diapers were in a big giant box and they were underneath the cart. Like you put them underneath the cart. And so I did the whole cart. And then as the cart started filling up, the bags obscured my view of what was underneath it. So when I was done, I was like, all right. And I just wheeled right out. It was like a $40 box of diapers. And then I got to the trunk of the car and I'm like, and I look and I saw it and I go, oh, I just stole diapers. So I immediately look around like, anybody, you do that thing, anybody? Because in my mind, I'm like, I should return these. But in my head, I was like, you, Kroger, massive corporation. So I just threw them in my trunk and I left. This time, most recently, it was, and by the way, see, that's how infrequently I steal diapers. My kid's 14. He hasn't been, so that was one. And then the other time was just a couple of months ago was melatonin. Because they were just like a bottle of gummies, melatonin gummies. And they had fallen out of their thing. And I put a bag, like I bought something, rung it up, put it in and I put the bag on top of the loose thing of melatonin gummies. So it wasn't until I got to the car, when I brought the cart to the car, that I started removing the bags from the back, that I lifted up a bag and I went, did that fall out of a bag or did I forget to pay for it? I looked at the receipt and I'm like, hey, I forgot to pay for it. So there you go. That is why I like to use self-checkout, because sometimes I can steal stuff and also steal stuff with a clear conscience, because I didn't set out to steal anything. It was just their corporate greed that led to this. Their corporate greed of not wanting to give people meaningful work in exchange for them having yachts and private planes. Their decision not to have people work for them, means I'm going to steal shit from time to time. All right. And people are going to steal a lot more if they don't get jobs to replace the ones. Because let me tell you, people who are losing jobs that cashiers, those people need those jobs. Nobody does a cashier job at a Walmart or whatever because it's been a lifelong dream. They're doing that because they need the hours. So anyway, there's one of these places, one of the 3 big ones in England. Remember, 2 of them are going completely self-checkout. One of them going completely no self-checkout. And it's becoming their brand. And it'll be a success. And I could absolutely see somebody here in America, one of Aldi or something, try and replicate that, because now you're going to get 100% of the shopper who hates the self-checkout for whatever reason. It's a good idea. I mean, it's short-sighted because, let's be honest, the people who don't like self-checkout are old people like me. Young people love it because they discovered you can steal real easy, a long time ago. Young people love it, and that's the way young people prefer to shop. So if you're going to be the store in England that only has cashiers, then young people probably aren't going to want to go there, because young people, first of all, cashier lines take so much longer. Yeah, that's how I ended up in the self-checkout. Months and months of observing that, deciding which is faster. Self-checkout lines 3 times faster than why? Because there's human interaction. Because you got people going, oh, hi, and they're making small talk and all that. And then you got an old lady with a check, right? No, thank you. You can buzz right through the self-checkout. And that's what kids like. So this English, just tell you the name of the place. What's the name of the place in England that's going to be all clerks? Grocery store chain ditches self-checkout after shopper backlash. They got old shoppers. They got an old clientele. British supermarket chain Booths is removing all of its self-checkout kiosks at stores in response to customer feedback. Booths, an upscale grocery store. Oh, upscale. They get old ladies who complain about everything because they're Karens. I don't like it. I don't want to talk to. Do you remember back in the day when there was like a whole team at grocery stores? Like there was like a person who would talk to you and they would scoop, but then there was also like a bagger who was there and each one had a bag. Now it's like, now if they got like 10 lanes, there's like 3 people just, and there's no bagger. You bag it yourself, loser. Like that's where we are. We were okay with that. Bag it yourself, loser. That's a new thing. You know what else is a new thing? Man, just one by one, we've been treated trashier and trashier. One by one. Little things, little incremental changes that we don't even notice until we get like 5 of them and go, yeah. Remember when, no, you don't remember this. Nobody remembers this. I have brought this up before and people are like, I don't remember that. It was when I first moved to Texas here in 2001. Maybe it's a Texas thing. Maybe it's something, but now it's everywhere. It's everywhere now. But it was when I first moved to Texas in 2001 and I went out to a restaurant. You want to take a doggy bag home. And you say, are you done with this? You're like, no, I'm going to take this home. Right. And then my whole life growing up, what happens next is the waitress takes your plate, goes back into the kitchen, boxes it up, puts it in a little bag with a doggy on it, and the bag says doggy, and they bring it out and they put it on the table when you leave. That's how it's done. I get to Texas in 2001 and we were at Papado's, a nice restaurant. And I go, I would like to take this home. She's like, that's fine. She comes back with a styrofoam box and goes, here. I'm like, what? That's everywhere now. That's everywhere now. Then nobody boxes up your to-go food for you. You don't get that service from the wait staff anymore. They used to put a little bow on it if it was a nice place. Not even a nice place. Didn't have to be in. It was every place. And we all saw the doggy bags, little bag. They don't even give you that anymore. Now it's just like, here's styrofoam. When they chuck it across the table. And everybody's like, sitting at, how dignified is that? You're sitting at a nice dinner and now suddenly everybody's got like styrofoam open and they got their plates going. That's why it was done in the kitchen, because it's not sophisticated. And that's what I mean by lowering it one little bit. Now we do that. Now we do that at tables like the big fat hogs we are. Used to be nice. They used to bring it to you. And it didn't matter. You'd be at a Sizzler. They did that at a Sizzler. No place does. Well, the good places still. Like you go to a really fat, like you go to Bob's, they ain't gonna chuck. You go to Bob's, they ain't gonna throw a. Maybe they will. I don't know. When was the last time I was at Bob's? Are they chucking styrofoam at you and saying, "Do it yourself, fat fuck"? Are they? I don't know. Is that a thing? You know, one by one, things change, make the world a little bit worse, and we accept it. I say that all the time to people. I'm old enough to remember when they used to actually just bring you your leftovers and it was wrapped and it was like a nice little present. Old enough to remember. That never happened. They never did that. I don't know. But then again, I probably had these conversations with girls I was dating who were like 10 and 15 years younger than me. So they don't remember. I also grew up with 3 channels. That's not true. There was never just 3 channels. Yeah, there was. All right, what else do we have? That's it, folks. We are out of show. I've been trying to stretch this out if you haven't noticed. Adam says, wow, surprised Papados would do that. Usually only nicer places wrap your food for you. Well, I thought maybe I'm reading this too quick, but I thought Papados was really nice. I still think Papados is nice, but yeah, it was the first place where they made me do it myself. And I'm like, look, I'm not a snob, right? I mean, but when I go out to a nice place, I go out to a dinner, there's just little things. I'm a good tipper. Yeah, this waitress, she should be doing things. She should be like trying extra hard. We're good tippers. We're going to take care of you. We've waited tables. We get what you're going through. I know it's not that hard for you to go, here, let me take care of that for you. And then bring it back in a nice little thing. Oh, here, you fat fuck. And they just chuck like a styrofoam. And it used to be, it wasn't always styrofoam. Remember, doggy takeouts used to be those tin things with the paper tops, and you had to crimp around the whole thing to like close it. It was always a pain in the ass. And then you put it in your refrigerator and you'd never put it back on right. It was always on like half because nobody was going to crimp around the entire thing perfectly every time. I mean, a lunatic serial killer might, but normal people don't. Now it's just styrofoam. Here you go. When you're done with this, chuck it out your car window. Maybe you'll choke a bear. I don't know. I don't have a problem with styrofoam. I like styrofoam. Really? Do I? Is that a statement? Do I like styrofoam? All right. Now look. Now I have to consider what's my hot take on styrofoam. I do. I like styrofoam. Actually, wow. See, now you have to think about these things, right? Never really considered styrofoam. I do. Turns out I like styrofoam. I will absolutely. I only go to 7-Eleven and get big gulps there because their cups are styrofoam. I will not get the super gulp, which is plastic. Why? Because I'm not going to drink it in like 10 minutes. I'm going to have that for a couple of hours and it's going to start to sweat and it's going to melt. It's going to be gross. Styrofoam. Styrofoam is better for big. McDonald's knows it. McDonald's, they make every right move, right? Nothing McDonald's does is great. Everything McDonald's does is right. That's how I would describe McDonald's. McDonald's does their soda right, their fries right, and they package their soda in a styrofoam cup because they know that only freaks of nature are going to drink 32 ounces of soda in the next 15 minutes. So we're going to have to do some game planning for when the ice starts to melt. That's why McDonald's gives you the styrofoam cup. See, they do it right. Not great. They do it right. All right. What is happening? Anything new? Should I jump on trends? Or should I just go to Twitter? See if there's anything new on Twitter. No, I hate Twitter trends now, man. I can't stand them. They're never any good. Live demonstrators demand release of hostages at Tel Aviv. I don't know what's going on there. Ed Silla just shared something on Twitter. So there's there's a state senate. Well, why not? Let's see what this guy's doing. This could be fun. All right, hold on. All right, I haven't seen this. but the description sounds funny. So let's see what's going on here. Huh. Didn't work. Hey, we're in bonus time now because I'm out of show. What did I think of the 4 episodes of The Crown? First 4 episodes of the final season of The Crown is out. I watched all 4 of them. I'm wondering if Jeff Ballard, who's one of my Crown heads, I know my buddy Mike, known on the air as Goldman Sachs Mike. Mike is a big Crown head. Mike's a big financial dude, so we call him that. He loves The Crown too. I know that he whipped through all 4 episodes over the weekend. I thought it was good. I thought it was I thought it was more than good. If I'm going to spend a moment here to talk about the first 4 episodes of the Crown's final season, the next 4 are going to be released in December. This is what we were waiting for, right? Thankfully they gave it to us. I was really worried that they were going to drag out what we're all waiting for until the final 4 episodes. But then I thought, wait a second, you mean they're not going to touch on Meghan and Kate and Harry and all this? They're not going to touch on it. So I think that's what the last 4 episodes are going to be. But these first 4 episodes, I was concerned that they were not going to be the death of Diana. I was concerned that they were going to roll that into December and keep us waiting. But oh my God. So these first 4 episodes of this season have been 4 episodes of what happened with Diana. She wasn't even supposed to be in Paris. Oh my God. That revelation to me is like, are you kidding me? She's on the, was she at Mykonos or something? She's like on the yacht of Dodi Fayad's father, who owns Harrods, who's an Egyptian billionaire. And Dodi Fayad's father is trying to force a marriage between Diana and Dodi, and they don't want to get married. I mean, Dodi does because she's Diana, but Diana's like, I don't want to marry this guy. So Diana was not going to marry this guy, and the dad is being like a jerk about it, and he's trying to trick her. So she says, I want to go home. They're on the yacht. She says to Dodi, I want to go home. By the way, Dodi's a good dude. Dodi and Diana, at least the way it's depicted, he's a good dude. He's a good dude with an a-hole father. Anyway, Diana says, Dodi, I want to go home. I get the kids in 2 days, and I want to be in London because she's divorced from Charles, so Charles had the kids for a while. So she was getting the kids. She's like, I need to go home to London. I'm getting the kids in 2 days, and I got stuff I got to do before the handoff or whatever. And Dodi's like, okay, fine, you can go to London. Then Dodi tells his dad that she's going to London and that the romance is on hold, and that he didn't get a chance to propose to her yet because the ring is in Paris that he wants to buy. The ring that he wants to buy for Diana is in Paris. She wants to go straight home to London because she wants to be with the kids. So Dodi Fayad's father goes, you get her to Paris. You tell her that we will fly her on our private jet, but you're going to have to stop in Paris first. And so Dodi's like, okay, Dad, whatever. So Dodi's like, hey, Diana, come on, we can go. He goes, but can we stop off first in Paris for the night? And then because this was the plan. Dodi was going to get the ring and propose and all that kind of stuff. And Diana's like, I really need to get back to London. I hadn't planned on stopping in Paris. Diana, who was an adorable woman. I mean, just an angelically, constantly bending over backwards to try and make everybody comfortable. At least that's how Elizabeth Debicki plays her. And oh my God, give Elizabeth Debicki every award. So Diana's like, okay, Dodi, whatever, fine. But you got to get me back to London. She was like the world's most famous woman, and she was literally being held hostage. I mean, not in a bad way, like you can't go, but in a way like I want to go. And they're like, no, can you do this first? And she's like, fine. So she goes to Paris instead. And that's the night that Dodi Fayad proposed to her. And she said no. And they had dinner anyway because they're friends, because they seemed like nice people. I mean, at least through the lens of the series, they seemed like decent people, and they were going to be friends. And maybe they're going to hook up from time to time. Maybe be friends with benefits. But she didn't want to get married, right? I can't get married right now, dude. The Charles and the Crown, they're like nuts on me. And I sure as hell, I just can't. So they're going to just continue to be friends and all that kind of stuff. They have a nice dinner. Now, they weren't supposed to be going out. Because remember, he was going to propose to her and they were going to have a private night and sex in the suite and all that kind of. They weren't supposed to go out. So Dodi Fayed's driver, Henri, thought he had the night off. So he's hanging out at the bar in the Four Seasons getting shit-faced. And then when Diana says, well, I'm not going to marry you, he's like, okay. And then they decide they got to go somewhere else now because plans are different. They're not staying in. It's not a beautiful, we're getting married, let's have sex all night. Now it's, all right, let's get out. Let's go grab some dinner somewhere. And, we're friends now again. The driver was drunk in the bar. The driver was drinking when someone came up to him and go, change the plans. You've got to drive tonight. And he's like, what? And that's it. They got chased by paparazzi as they left the Ritz. As they left the Ritz in Paris, chased by paparazzi. Driver probably 2 sheets to the wind, going way too fast, heads into a tunnel. You hear the wreck. Oh, they handled it really well. And it was just so well done. It was so well done. Oh my God, Charles telling William waking up in the morning. Charles, imagine being woken up in the morning on a day that you thought you were going to be reunited with your mother who you hadn't seen in 2 months. Charles waking William up and saying, as a future king, now you must be strong. Oh, and then telling him that his mom is dead. Oh my God. It was great. It was fantastic. All right. I highly recommend The Crown. I love it. And I can't wait for the next 4 episodes because I honestly, all of the things that I wanted to know about, I've pretty much now I guess the only thing I want to know about is Harry and Meghan. And maybe they'll deal with that whole thing in the next 4 episodes to end out the series. Certainly the death of the Queen has to be covered, right? You can't do The Crown, which is the life of the Queen starting from her ascension. You can't, right? The last episode's got to be the funeral, I would think. All right, my buddy Ed, who is king of this here Radio Misfits, Ed just tweeted this. Let's see what this is. This is some Minnesota congressman.
The police dog discussion of all.
Some dude in Minnesota. He's arguing against the legalization of marijuana. All right, let's see what his argument against marijuana is.
Police dog discussion of all that and retraining, what's going to cost our local law enforcement agencies who've done these dogs, who've spent thousands and thousands of dollars on these dogs to get these dogs drug trained, and now they're going to have to be retired. That's a big issue. I was the mayor of Faribault and actually did a fundraising campaign to raise money.
This is a man in a suit and a tie who knows how to read and knows how to write, and he's been elected. People up there voted for him. He's been elected. And his reason for voting against legalization of marijuana is that they'll have to retire the police dogs. What? That's insane. That is insane. No, here's also, you're going to save money because you're never going to have to train another police dog to do that again. How about looking at it that way? All of the money for these police dogs that we've been spending, we can do that on, I don't know, school lunches for kids or maybe some kind of better education for people like you so that they don't think keeping a bad idea going simply because somebody has grown dependent on the bad idea is not the best of ideas. Weed should not be legal in Minnesota because just think of all the retired weed sniffing dogs. That's absurd. That's funny. That with a straight face, that fucking guy made that argument. Holy crap. Holy crap. That is just, what word do you, that is just highly stupid. That is just really illogical and highly stupid. And he said it with a straight face in a suit and tie as an elected official. Oh, we're going to hit our closing theme. And you know what our closing theme was? Our closing theme was almost the Pina Colada song. Yeah. I accidentally almost hit the Pina Colada song. I'm making a playlist of like really cringy, bad lyrics, like songs that have just really cringy sort of, and there's a lot of them from the 70s. Like from the 70s single bars era, Like I would say, like the disco era, or where everybody was going to singles bars and all that. But free sex because AIDS hadn't hit yet. So like music between 76 and like maybe 82 or 83. There's like there are so many songs, hit songs, that just depict a guy who is coming off as cool for the time, who now is just like, oh, that's so cringy. Pina Colada Song is one of them. Pina Colada Song is hysterical. It's about two people who are cheating on each other. and they cheat on each other with each other. That's the song. Anyway, I'm making a whole list of songs like that. Sharing the Night Together is my favorite. That's the first one I want to do. I don't know if you know that song. You're looking kind of lonely, girl. Or would you like someone new to talk to? Oh, yeah. All right. Oh, it's the worst. It is the worst. It's about a dude who it's the whole song. The lyric is just about a dude just being very uncomfortable and weirdly aggressive with a woman he doesn't know in a bar. Like he jumps straight to let's go bang. Now that was the 1970s. That sort of idea, that outlook is something that only attractive people experience in 2023. Back in the 70s, ugly people were hooking up left and right. It was crazy. But now we got AIDS and, pandemic and, people masks. And now that kind of random, risky hookup sex is the domain of handsome and attractive people. It's not for normals. But in the 70s, ugly people were having sex. It's true. All right. I got nothing else.
Poetry, I have got my songs to see me through.
Reason for the playlist is I want to do, Kelly and I used to do a segment called Lyrical Litigation where we would play a song and then just really focus on the lyrics and like really talk about what are they getting into here. I think that would make a good podcast. Problem is we can't play music. We can't play songs. So I'm trying to get around that in a way. Anyway, that's why I'm compiling a list of really cringy and awkward songs. Hey, if you've got any suggestions for us, hit us up on, I don't know, Twitter, Facebook.
Lonely nights help me to be strong. I am like the dancing bear,
What else?
trained to be the best.
No, thank you, Frank. Thank you. Nah, I see Frank's like, baby, it's cold outside. Is it cringy? It's cringy, but that's everybody knows that one. Like, I want to do like songs that people are like, oh my God, I've been listening to this forever and I never realized how cringy this song is. Another really good one is one of my favorite Beatles songs. One of my favorite early Beatles songs when they were still doing this garage feedback jingle jangle thing is a song called Run for Your Life. And it's literally a song that John Lennon wrote about threatening his girlfriend that if she ever cheats on him, she's not cheating on him. She's not cheating on him. This is not a woman that's cheating on him. He's just letting her know that if she ever should cheat on him, he's going to stalk her and murder her. That's the song. That's the song. And it was a hit. And people are like, oh, the Beatles are great. You better run for your life if you can, little girl. Hide your head in the sand, little girl. If I catch you with another man, that's the end, little girl. That's a Beatles song that everybody loved. I like that one. Wait, he's saying he's going to murder her. And of course, there's the classic Lita Ford. Went to a party on Saturday night. Didn't get laid, got in a fight. It ain't no big thing. What song is that? But I know what I like. Yeah, that's another bad one. All right. I think we can do like, Kelly and I can record 10 of those and then release them all at once. But we can't use the music and figure out how. Adam says, ugly people still have sex. Only way I've been laid as much as I have. Well, Adam, I know we still have sex. I mean, I don't have sex much these days. I know we still have sex, but it takes work. You're missing the point. My point is in the 1970s, the way attractive people today, like really hot people at a bar, Like a really hot dude can sit at a bar across from a really hot bartender all night and they will go home together. Sight on, they don't even know each other. They will go home. That hot bartender, she ain't going home with you. There are certain guys that she will go home with. And that's just the rule of attractive people. My point, Adam, is that back in the 70s, ugly people got to do that too. Like an ugly person would walk into a bar and go up to another ugly person and they would hook up and they would go home and have sex. That all changed. Ugly people, like my generation of ugly, and maybe if I'm so bold as to speak for you as well, Adam, maybe your generation of ugly, we're post-AIDS. We've diseases. That's a whole different idea about sexuality. Not for attractive people. Attractive people are still willing to go ahead and risk whatever. Attractive people can just do sex, man. Boom. Look at them. We want to encourage attractive people. More attractive people. That's the thing. Not us. We've never been encouraged to procreate. We uglies. So there's always been sort of a social, like, you know what I mean? We're not allowed. We're not. Hey, deal with it, uglies. I'm sorry. Just telling you what it is for us uglies.
It has been a journey,
it ain't all bad.
a multi-answer test. I am on a never-ending quest. Tomorrow is another day.
So Barney suggests Springsteen's "I'm on Fire," and yeah, yeah, it sure is. And I came to realize, and I love Springsteen. I came to realize that song was cringy. That's one of the lullabies that I used to sing my son when he was falling asleep. And there was a number of songs that I used to sing to him because I can sing. I actually, when I try to be I have a nice soothing singing voice for certain songs. So that was one of them. And I just remember I would always be like, ugh, hey, little girl, is your daddy home? Did he go away and leave you all alone? Whoa! Hey, little girl, is your daddy home? Did he go away and leave you all alone? I got a bad desire. Oh, I'm on fire. Sorry, my voice is like really bad this weekend. Started getting a bit of a cold, so I have no bottom, if you can see. Not that I usually have, but I usually have rasp. I don't have any rasp. That's a good one. That is a great one. What else? Any other suggestions? Adam Morena says John Lennon himself is cringe. Yeah, well, you ought to hear what he says about you. What else? All right, that's it. We're done. We're out of here.
The best is yet to come. I have found a different way, so baffling to some. I have got an old guitar, that is all I need. I don't need no 401. I don't have.
Look at that. I made it to 207. I was like, I don't want to cheat everybody out of a short show. And I started at 1 or 12:10. So, and I ran out of content. I ran out of content at like 1:35, but here we are. I stretched and you folks were good enough to hang out with me. Not good. Nah, hear that? Not good. Tonight, we're going to do a Radio Misfits show. James will be along, 9 o'clock, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, myself and James. It's not like this. This is topics. This is just me. This is a whole lot of me. Whew. Not at 9 o'clock. At 9 o'clock, it's me and James. We good? All right, love you guys. Bye.
The best is yet to come. I have found a different way, so baffling to some.
Hold on. What is Barney saying? Hold on. Barney, what are you saying? Barney is saying, I saw her standing there, is the song? Is it no? The song is Run for Your Life. I saw it when I saw her standing there is a totally different song. Oh, unless I'm confused. When I saw her standing there, that's I never dance with another. I don't know. When I saw her standing there starts with the line, well, she was just 17. You know what I mean. Yeah, that's troubling. But that's not Run for Your Life. That's He Likes Young Girls. But never mind. I'm not going to try and... I was like, I could probably find a way to sort of justify that given the time and the age that he was when he wrote that. But no, still, what makes it very complicated was, if you know what I mean. Dad, no, shut up, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Creepy. Creepy.
Down the road I'll travel.
Nice catch, Barney.
From the comfort nest. I am on a never-ending quest. I am on a never-ending quest.